sure that we do the things that we're practicing, especially on the throw-in, for example. How about in a single swap? You work in practice every single time. The person who's throwing it, you need to call, swap, swap, swap. And two people are gonna rotate. You're focused too much on the ball, and you're not focusing on your job, on the jobs that can be done. So once we have the ball down here, we have the keeper as a reference, okay? Have the man down the line, and then we can have a holding mid coming back to receive it. I don't want, for example, on this side, this is Jake, I don't want Prince to come in all the way, because you're going to bring more people with you. And then once Jake receives the ball here, then there's no option on the side. We need to make sure that only two people are working on the side of the ball, of the midfielders, and then someone else is a little more central. Okay? That's the first thing. When the ball is in the middle here, we need to make sure that there's no rush. There's no dribbling forward unless you have the field in front of you, which is open. Can you see, Jake? Yeah. So we need to make sure that slow the pace down here if it's not a counter-attack. Remember what we said in practice. If we just win the possession, we create the transition, then that's when we rush the ball in, so we catch them off guard. If they're all settled back, there's no running, there's no dribbling. Hold it here, pass the ball around. Jake's doing a superb job with the one touch. Rotating the ball, passing to the gaps, finding the people we know mark, and then we have room to play. Final one, on the final third, is the work that we've been doing so far on the triangulation passing. Did you guys see how effective that has been? Every time, pass it to number 10, 11 makes a run, pass it down here, and then it's a 2v1. So we need to make sure that we want to stop working just ourselves and just thinking about what I'm going to do, but you need to start thinking about possible combinations. All right? Look at the people who are around you, and you know that you can combine with them. And it's not because the ball was passed to you, then now you're the guy to score the goal. Maybe he's going to go to you, to go to someone else. So we need to play as a team. Does that make sense? We need to play as a team. Now on individual things that I want to say is Jake and Zach, sometimes when you're going for a challenge, when you're doing an execution, at least from my perspective, it looks a little sloppy. All right? You're just putting the foot. For example, you when defending, you're just putting the foot in. You need to put the entire body, because your body's going to give you protection. It'll give you more power to do the movement. Zach, in possession, the throw-ins, it's a little bit too slow. Make sure that the ball's not falling off of your hand. You are actually throwing that ball. These are simple things, but they're causing turnovers that might cause us a little bit of a problem. I want to see you guys on your toes, showing up, okay? Zach, Callum, and Jaden. Remember, you need to make the runs between the two defenders, between them here. This is the run. Because if you run behind here, you're always marked.
Every time I do that, they just squish me in and I have no space.
That's fine. So they squish you in here, you're right here in the middle. So what can you do?
Go back out.
So go back out and then do another run again. Because the thing is, when they squeeze you in, then you're running behind. He's always marking you, and you're either going to receive offside or you're not going to be an option because you're literally behind him. So what you can do is when you make that run, you start running on the line here. Instead of penetrating, you're running on the line, and then you make a cut. You need to make it so they cannot predict. So if you're just making a one line down, they're going to predict your run and they're going to mark you. So you go this way, and then double movement and you cut. Or you're going down the line and then you make that cut in. We need to get a little more unpredictability from our wingers, okay? Final thing, Josh, you're gonna get the goal in, but we need fewer touches. We need, just like Guts comes in, boom, smack it in the goal. We don't need to make it everything perfect. We just need to get the ball in, all right? It's 1-0, but it shouldn't be like that. We're struggling way too much in a game that we shouldn't be struggling against this opposition. All right, let's go 2-3 touches max in the midfield. Let's work as a team, boy.